in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane. It's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty. Now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine. We live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set to continue on our fourth season of the NNSCRA Pizza Hut X Series, getting ready for race number 6 here tonight under the lights at the Texas Motor Speedway. We're getting set for what's going to be the My Bariatric Solutions 300, a Wise Health System Service. I have no idea what that means, but it's the name of this race, and so we're rolling with it as we're going to get set here for 34 laps of racing. We have had 3 previous race winners at this event in this series, but only one of our defending winners is in this field here tonight, and he's starting on the pole position. That's Eli Bright, driving the number 12 for Wrigley Motorsports. He won this event back in Season 2, at the time driving the number 05 for the now renamed Flying Aces Racing. The other 2 previous race winners, the defending race winner, Austin LaPlante, we saw him in last night's Tax Layer Truck Series, and the other one was Jeffrey Finguy, who has now recently retired from NNSCRA competition. So we'll see if Eli Bright can double down, be the first repeat winner of the Pizza Hut X Series here at Texas Motor Speedway, or will we see another driver add their name to the list of drivers that have won in this series at this very racetrack. Alongside of Eli Bright, that's going to be James Shelly in the number 71. Now, James Shelly comes into this race 15th in the point standings. Was a big contender for the win, if I remember correctly, back at Atlanta. Just could not seem to be able to close the deal. So we'll see what James Shelly's going to be able to do. Eli Bright coming into this race could certainly use a good run too. He's 33rd in points. Had a pretty decent outing back at Atlanta. See if I can find out where he exactly finished that race. It was in the 14th position. Shelly was in 13th at Atlanta. But certainly Eli Bright would like to get a lot better than 33rd in points. And we'll see if he can do it here tonight. Got himself some good starting track position up at the front of the field. We saw in the Tax Layer Truck Series race last night, only one caution came out. And then we went clean and green the entire rest of the way. These drivers here tonight, I'd be very surprised if we see a yellow flag, so we'll have to see if green flag pit stops will take place during the course of this event. Let's go down and get that command.
Drivers, start your engines.
And as always, as the Chevy Corvette pace car leads the field around this 1.5-mile speedway, it's time to give you your top 10 the point standings coming into tonight's race, presented to you by Golden Corral. Quentin Moore is now the new points leader after our race at Atlanta by 8 points over the former points leader, D Shears. Angel Navarro, third in the point standings with Ben Braley in fourth, and Steve Morgan currently is fifth. Jordan Lopez, sixth. A Baranauskas is seventh. Alex Gray currently sits eighth, with Cody Lamas and Joshua Osborne completing the top 10. You see a number of those drivers that I mentioned starting up here towards the front of the field. Osborne starting fourth, Baranauskas in fifth, and Steve Morgan in sixth, as well as Dougie Shears there in the 8th position. Last week saw Justin Tucker go to victory lane. Or I'm sorry, not Justin Tucker. Seth Cole go to victory lane, I should say. Tucker won at Bristol. Seth Cole moved up 11 spots in the point standings after his win in Atlanta to 29th in the point standings. So he's now in the realm where his win would count towards a spot in the playoffs. But obviously, he'd love to be able to continue to climb up in the point standings and get away from that danger zone of 30th in the point standings. Matter of fact, the guy that comes in 30th in points is rolling off in the top 10 as well. 9th place, the 9 of M McIntire. Here we go then, getting ready to go green here at Texas. Eli Bright and J Shelly. Get us underway. Green flag is out. Let's roll. We saw it all last night. We're seeing it all tonight. Right now in the early stages, that inside line is the line that moves early. We did see, however, as the run goes on and the tires wear out and they warm up, that outside line can do a little bit of damage, especially off the corner of turn 2. Eli Bright will get a bonus point for leading the first lap, but he may not lead the second one. K Langeland to the inside, and he'll move to the race lead. Hearing some scraping back there. I don't know if we've got a caution or not. No, we don't. A lot of scraping you're going to hear doesn't necessarily mean there's a yellow flag, as drivers have to deal with the grip and the banking of this racetrack, especially off turn 2, and sometimes they'll brush that safer barrier on the back straightaway. Matt McIntire now moves to the top position. As a matter of fact, it was that very fact that brought out our only caution in last night's Taxi Truck Series race, where one truck went up, scrubbed the wall, it scrubbed off too much speed, and it stacked up everyone behind him, causing the wreck. So we haven't exactly had any cautions so far this weekend as a result of out-and-out contact. It's just been circumstances due to the configuration of the track, as A Eisestein now moves to the top position in the 3 car. Aubrey comes into this race currently situated way down in the point standings, 40th. So obviously looking for a good run here. J Ericsson, a 2-time winner last year, 13th in the points coming into this race. Been very quiet so far this season, but had a pretty consistent start to her year, as Phil Parker now moves into the 2nd position. Parker's teammate D Shears went to victory lane back at Rio, so trying to be the 2nd Michael Norman Motorsports car to victory lane here this season, as right now teammates 1 and 2 up here at the front of the field. Now here come a couple of drivers that really are looking for good runs. James Qualls, the 27, Cole Deaver, the 15. Qualls is 41st in points, Cole Deaver is 39th. 2 former winners of the Pizza Hut X Series, and both trying to get their derailed start to the seasons back on track. Almost some contact there as they'll battle for 2nd. William Brock also in the mix there in the 62. Whoops. Well, we focused on him accidentally, but might as well look at the points that are coming to this race. Mired back here in traffic. Quentin Moore in the 89 is on that inside line, starting to make some forward progress, though. I'll tell you one driver who didn't make forward progress, and that's Eli Bright in the 12. Started on the pole. He's all of a sudden vanished. Oh, we're under caution. That's B Braley. And we got another car, Joshua Hyatt, and I think I saw some damage as well in the 19 of Justin Tucker, our Bristol race winner. So our first caution comes out, and it's on lap 7. I did not see that the caution lights were on. I was too focused on trying to get back to Eli Bright, who had dropped like a stone after starting on the pole position. There's some damage on the 38 of Scott Roush, I think. Looks like there's some rear end damage on his machine. I might be wrong. A Eisestein's going to stay out. Most of the drivers are going to stay out. 38's coming to pit road. I think he's got rear end damage. There's B Braley on the pit lane. That is not what he was looking for. A driver that came into this race 4th in the point stands, and there is Joshua Hyatt in the 92, who had a solid outing in Atlanta. That car looks like it might have flipped. He's got roof damage. Where's the 19? Because I'm pretty certain I saw some damage on Justin Tucker. Yeah, he's on pit road as well, as B Braley's team has now pushed him behind the wall. So that's going to be our first retiree of the weekend, actually, as we didn't have any drivers retire from the race in last night's truck race. So as Aubrey Eisestein leads us under our first caution of the evening, let's take a look and see what happened on the back straightaway. Well, here it was. Off turn 2. 92 of Joshua. Oh, yeah, well, that was just a case of 3 wide, and they all just kind of converged at the same time. Look at the wild ride Joshua Hyatt took there, though. And he does indeed flip over. So that roof damage was a correct assumption that he flipped. Boy, all 3 of those cars took a pretty hard lick. Oh my goodness, I think Joshua Hyatt went up and hit the outside wall there in turn 3 as well. Good grief. Oh my goodness. It's going 195 at this point in time. Oh my. Thank heavens he hit the safer barrier there. But it certainly didn't help to slow down the speed of that race car at all. There you see now the weight shifts over, and that's what flips him upside down. And then watch this. It slides up the banking, and it's going to hit rear end first into the outside wall. Back over once again, and somehow, some way, fortunately, that car comes back to rest on all 4 Goodyear tires. But that is a pretty scary ride there for the Aaron's Dream Machine of Joshua Hyatt. Ben Braley and Justin Tucker also with some pretty significant damage. Braley's out of the race. Hyatt will undoubtedly be out of the race. I don't know if Tucker's going to be able to continue or not, but that's what brought out a caution for our first time here tonight at Texas. So no 1 to green signal yet, but I'm assuming when the field exits out of 4 and hits the start finish line here, we will get the 1 to green signal. We did have some drivers hit pit road, and not just drivers that had damage. You saw the 38 of Scott Roush on pit lane, also had the 24 of G Sydnor on pit road, so we'll have to see how that situates them. Justin Tucker was also obviously on the pit road, and they've gotten that car back out on the racetrack. We'll have to see if he's up to speed. 2 drivers out of the race after the incident. We saw the 2 drivers take the hardest licks there into that inside safer barrier. Joshua Hyatt will retire in 41st, and Ben Braley will finish in 42nd. That's a hard lick in the point stands for Ben Braley, who had just worked his way into the top 10 in points after last time out's race at Atlanta. It'll be Aubrey Eisestein on the front to get us back underway. Cole Deaver lines up in 2nd. Steve Morgan 3rd, William Brock 4th, and Z Flickinger currently in 5th. Teammates Joshua Osborne and James Qualls 6th and 7th. 8th place will be Jessica Miles with Alex Gray in 9th, and 10th place is going to be Ryan George. Jessica Miles up there in the top 10. Another driver like Ben Braley, who jumped 11 spots in the point standings last time out at Atlanta from 23rd to 12th. Having another good run here, trying to work her way into the top 10 in the point standings. Mentioned it's going to be a hard hit in the point stands for Ben Braley. If Justin Tucker isn't able to be up to speed, he's going to probably be mired in 40th for the remainder of this race, barring another wreck. And he came into this race in 14th in the standings, one of our Bristol winners, as the green flag is back in the air. Then for Joshua Hyatt, he came into this race 28th in points. Jumped from 35th to 28th after Atlanta, and now all that work he did at Atlanta could very well be out the window after a DNF here tonight at Texas. Battle is on for the lead. Cole Deaver to the inside of Aubrey Eisestein. Cole Deaver was a winner in the Pizza Hut X Series, I want to say back in Season 2. And it was at Charlotte. Charlotte is a D-shaped 1.5-mile racetrack, so Cole Deaver with experience at winning at a track of this type of configuration. But now, battle is on. Maybe 3 wide. Nope, not quite. Z Flickinger tried to stick his nose to the inside of Steve Morgan. Could not do it, and so Steve Morgan will lead the field coming out of turn number 4, and he'll get a bonus point for leading that lap. Steve Morgan, who will probably, based on where he's running right now, head into our next race at Talladega as the highest running rookie in the point standings. He already comes into this race leading the rookie points, 5 points over G Sydnor. And you know, a lot of people might forget that Garrett Sydnor does, or not Garrett Sydnor, make that Steve Morgan has prior experience on this channel in racing. He was actually one of the top 2 contenders during the regular season of the NRSL Winston Super Speedway Series. He and Zachary Fitzwater, so he's definitely proved himself as a title contender. Looking really good here tonight, trying to pick up his first career win in the NNSCRA sanctioned race. A Eisestein right behind him, though, in second, and there's Joshua Osborne in the 70. Osborne comes into this race 10th in the points. Of course, last season really struggled as they're 3 wide for the top spot. Osborne was a 2-time winner in his rookie season, but spent all last year out of victory lane, now trying to find victory lane once again for the first time in 2 seasons. Phil Parker, though, on the bottom, that's for second place. And we're about again to have a very familiar situation here at Texas with the 3 out in front and the 5 in second. There's another Michael Lerner Motorsports car working his way up towards the front. That's the one of Chris Dollerton. There he is. This is his home track, Texas Motor Speedway, and he'd love to be able to take a checkered flag in front of his home crowd. The inside of him, the driver came in as the points leader. Quentin Moore in the 89. Continuing to work his way to the front. He just cracked the top 10. Was scored 10th last time by. Let's see what they score him this time. He's up to 8th. Following the tire tracks there of Alex Gray in the 0. Alex Gray's good friend Patrick Curtis went to victory lane here last night in the Tax Slayer Truck Series race. Gray driving the ride that Patrick Curtis put in victory lane twice last season in the Pizza Hut X Series. As William Brock up the racetrack and gets the wall there. Charles Jackson, one of our winners from Bristol. He's now up cracking the top 10. He's bringing our Daytona winner, Ying Canario, along with him in the 6. He's back up towards the front, though. Teammates, nose to tail. A Eisestein, Phil Parker. Battling for that spot, and then you got Joshua Osborne waiting in the wings, seeing what's going to happen. Phil Parker coming off a bit of a momentum run at Atlanta last week when he finished 4th place. Jumped him up 11 spots in the point standings last week to 21st in the standings. Still looking for a victory, though, and if I remember correctly, I think he's still looking for his first win of his career. I don't think he went to victory lane last season, but I might be wrong. Wise, I don't remember him going to victory lane, and no, he didn't. A number of his teammates did. Madeline Crenshaw then went to victory lane. Dougie Shears went to victory lane, but Phil Parker trying to get his first career Pizza Hut X Series win here. They're still nose to tail, the top 3, and as they are nose to tail, 4th, 5th, and 6th, they're starting to reel them in. Zach Flickinger there in 4th. Quentin Moore now up in 5th, and Charles Jackson right there in 6th place. James Qualls in 7th. Here comes our pole sitter, former winner at this track back in Season 2. Eli Bright has fought his way back up into the top 10. Currently scored, he was scored in 9th. I believe he's up to 8th now as he made the pass on Chloe Ericsson during that lap. Move back up to the front, battle for 2nd. Joshua Osborne to the inside of Phil Parker. Zach Flickinger right there, seeing which line's going to open up. You see Phil Parker get the nice run on the high side there off turn 2 as we've settled into a longer green flag run. Osborne trying to get that inside line working, but not going to be able to do it this time. Parker continues to hang tough. Now Quentin Moore is going to use the inside line and try and get 4th place away from Zach Flickinger. All this currently going on behind Madeline wow. Let's try it again. Aubrey Eisestein. I'll get one of the former drivers of the 3 correct here. Justin Tucker in the 19. Not going to be an issue for the 3. Aubrey to the outside of him. Going to complete the pass. And now Phil Parker going to do the same. Joshua Osborne also swings around the outside. But that's going to hold up the points leader, Quentin Moore, on the bottom of the racetrack. Now they're going to get wadded up from 4th place on back. Qualls, Bright, Jackson, Morgan, Canario, all up here in this group. And all right now currently in the top 10 as Flickinger and Jackson get held up. 9 laps to go. Phil Parker had a big head of steam when he went around Justin Tucker, and he's very quickly reeling back in his teammate. Aubrey Eisestein looking for her first career win. So too is Phil Parker. The 5 has not been to victory lane for quite a while, and the 3 has not been victory lane since Daytona of last year, when Madeline Crenshaw won the season opener. Look behind them though, you've got Joshua Osborne there in the 70 starting to close in. Quentin Moore and James Qualls 4th and 5th working together to try and reel in the top trio. Doesn't look like there's going to be any cars for these drivers to have to deal with. They're on the back straightaway. The field is exiting turn 4, so it's not going to be any slower traffic now. It's just going to be who's got the best race car here in the closing stages of this event. Phil Parker continues to close up the gap, but we've seen already here as this race has progressed on that drivers are having difficulty making passes on the bottom of the racetrack because that outside line gets such a good run off the exit of the corner. So if Phil Parker makes the move, he's going to have to make it stick and hope that Eisestein slips up on the exit of the corner. Battle on for 3rd. Quentin Moore to the inside of Joshua Osborne. Good run for both the Joanna Atwood Motorsports cars here tonight. Currently scored in 3rd and 5th. But right now it's looking like it's going to come down between 2 drivers out of Michael Norman Motorsports to win this race here tonight at Texas. Parker losing a little ground there out of turn 4. See if he can gain it back here in 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway about maybe, I'd say, car length and a half separation between the top 2. Parker not right now being able to close up the distance as time is ticking away. Down out of turn 2. Now the gap back to 2nd place has opened up, so it's definitely going to be a one-on-one battle here between the 3 and the 5. Right now, Aubrey Eisestein holding a pretty wheel. I think she's got to make a mistake if Parker's going to capitalize. Both of these cars seem to be on a rather even keel with each other. Neither one being able to pull away nor gain ground. 2.5 laps to go down the back straightaway here. Already Michael Norman Motorsports has been to victory lane this season with D Shears at Rio. Right now a very good chance that, oh wait a minute, Parker's coming to pit road. And so is Quentin Moore, Osborne, Qualls, and others. Is it going to come down to a fuel race? A lot of drivers on pit road. Oh my goodness. What about the 3? Can the 3 make it? Canario's now moved to 2nd. Aubrey Eiselstein's going to stay out and risk it. White flag displayed. 1 more lap to go for the 3. It came down to fuel, and Aubrey Eiselstein's going to try and play the fuel game. She was out in front for a good portion of this, which usually consumes more fuel than if you're running in the draft. But somehow, I guess she was able to save enough, and she's going to get her first career win of the Pizza Hut X Series. She's going to take the checkered flag here tonight at Texas. What a win for Aubrey Eiselstein. And we mentioned that she comes into this race 40th in the point standings. Big time shot in the arm for a dismal start to the year for the rookie out of Michael Norman Motorsports. Aubrey Eiselstein was kind of a last-minute change into the 3 car as the original driver, Madeline Crenshaw, was unable to drive the 3 this season for medical reasons. And how about that? What a run for the 3 team. For the first time since Daytona last season, the 3 goes back to victory lane, and Aubrey Eiselstein gets her first career win in an NNSCRA sanctioned event. Speaking of Daytona, our Daytona winner this season, Canario, also decided to play the fuel game and stayed out, and brings it home in the 2nd position. Standings, I believe, are official. And the field definitely got jumbled up after drivers having to hit pit road there in the closing stages of this race. Charles Jackson's going to finish the day out in the 3rd position with Chloe Ericsson there in 4th, and Steve Morgan will continue, I believe, to lead the point standings for the rookie points as he will finish in 5th. Cole Deaver was 6th, A Baranauskas 7th, Scott Roush in 8th, Alex Gray 9th, and Seth Cole, a couple of weeks after his first win, is going to get a 10th place finish. Carson Gum will get 11th, Mark Davidson 12th, Ashlyn Boyd was 13th, Garrett Sydnor is one of the drivers that hit pit road under our only caution, going to get 14th with William Brock 15th, and the last 2 cars to finish on the lead lap, 16th and 17th, were Jessica Miles and Daniel Olson. Everybody else finished off the lead lap. Zach Flickinger, Chris Dollerton, Phil Parker, they completed your top 20. Tough break there for Parker as he wasn't able to make it the rest of the way on fuel, and a couple of other front runners that finished way back there as a result of having to make pit stops. Quentin Moore 22nd, Joshua Osborne 24th, and James Qualls back there in 28th place. Look on down the remainder of the results there. And 2 drivers finished out of the race. They were the cars of Joshua Hyatt and Ben Braley after hard licks into the inside retaining wall. But that is going to do it here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a video like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown your full list of results. These are your rookie point standings and your overall point standings heading to our next Pizza X Series event, which will be in 2 weeks at the high banks of the Talladega Super Speedway. We cap off this race weekend with a Hershey's Cup Series race here tomorrow night from Texas Motor Speedway. Then next week, it's all Hershey's Cup Series action as we get set for the Mudsummer Classic at Eldora Raceway. That's always a fun weekend, so I hope you'll tune in for that. But till then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.